In today's video, we're going to be looking at a brand new action-adventure game visually stylized after the old Legend of Zelda games from the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. The game we're going to be reviewing today is called Saga of the Moon Priestess. It's an indie game that was developed by Pixel Trash and published by East Asia Soft. At $5.99, it's a little bit on the cheap side, but even so, is it worth the asking price? That's what we're gonna find out. Before we begin, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the month, so let's hit that mark. Thank you to East Asia Soft for the review code. Now on to the video. In Saga of the Moon Priestess, we start off controlling a prince. He wakes up during a pretty bad storm and decides to wander through his castle in search of his father. But instead of his father, he finds a wicked witch. This is the main antagonist of the game, and I don't think we ever got a name for her, but either way, it turns out that she kidnapped his dad, the king, I'm assuming, since he's a prince and all, and in exchange for his safety, she wants the prince to come with her. Begrudgingly, he accepts, so the prince is kidnapped, and that's how the story begins. The focus now shifts to the main character of this game, our heroine. Her name is Sarissa. Sarissa is special because she's been gifted with the ability to commune with the moon goddess through the various moon goddess statues that are found throughout the game. When you're finally able to control Sarissa, the moon goddess statue tells her that the prince has been kidnapped and that she needs to save him. Well, that's pretty much as far as it goes when it comes to the story. The rest is mostly gameplay, so let's get into that. So when it comes to the gameplay, Sarissa has various things that she can do. She can attack with her spear using the X button, and if she has an additional item or weapon equipped, she can use it with the B button. To equip weapons or items, hit the start button and select your item with the A button. As you progress through the game, you're going to gain the ability to use bombs, arrows, a fire wand, and other things as well. There's actually pretty good enemy variety. I never felt like I was running into the same goons over and over, and some of these normal enemies can be pretty tough, especially in the last dungeon, and you will die quickly against some of them. So you've got to plan how to approach them unless you want to cheese them like I did. Various areas in the game are going to be closed off to you until you find the necessary items that let you progress. There are 5 main areas in the game: a foresty area, a township, an icy region, a desert, and a cemetery. Each area has one dungeon. The dungeons in this game are not terribly difficult, but one in particular had a puzzle that stumped me pretty hard. I was stuck on it for hours, and it ended up being something that should have been pretty obvious. I'm not going to spoil it in this video, but I will have some tutorials up in a little while, so if you get to a certain dungeon and you think that it's impossible to progress, make sure to look up some of my videos. But beyond that, I found that the dungeons in Saga of the Moon Priestess were pretty well designed. The puzzles were creative and made you make use of various items in order to get through. I will say though, the first dungeon was super short, so I thought that they were all gonna be that way, but they do increase in length and difficulty after the first dungeon. Each dungeon and some hidden areas through the overworld also have fairy pools like in Zelda, where a big fairy will bless you and give you all your health back. Some of the bosses in Saga of the Moon Priestess can be a bit of a headache until you figure out what you need to do, and once you do, you probably won't have much trouble with them. Well, maybe except for the final boss. I actually did get quite a few game overs against the final boss in this game because there was just so much going on in that fight, but I did get that feeling of accomplishment once I finally defeated it. The game does have various bugs. In my short playthrough of this game, I had to reboot the game up to 3 times because of a bug that stuck Sarissa in place and wouldn't let me move anywhere. The start button still worked, so I could still get into my inventory menu, but that's pretty much it. I couldn't do anything else, and so I had to reboot the game if I wanted to keep playing. Beyond those bugs, the game performed very well. All in all, the game will probably take about 8 hours to complete on a blind playthrough, but someone who knows what they're doing can probably clear it in a couple of hours. In conclusion, Saga of the Moon Priestess is a fun homage to classic Zelda titles like Link's Awakening and the Oracle games from the Game Boy Color. It's not the best indie game ever made, but it's far from being bad. If you're into traditional Zelda games, then I think you're gonna have a very good time with this one, and for just $6 you really can't go wrong. Saga of the Moon Priestess gets a 4 out of 5 from me. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna keep bringing you more combo videos, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switchblade. Done.